kind of funny how the camera does makes things look like they're getting so huge. So in the last couple days, being 2 days away from Thanksgiving now, it's Saturday, I had 2 conversations with 2 different friends, and both of them were post-family Thanksgiving, spending it with their family, and both of them said, just kind of volunteered the information that they observed this time around with their family was not as, there wasn't as much friction between them and other people because they stopped playing into certain energy dynamics with family members. I'm sure we all have friends or whoever from our past that we maybe don't spend as much time with anymore because of these dynamics that happen where they say something, criticize you or challenge you in a way, like politically or morally or in some way that makes you feel like you have to defend yourself. And like both of my friends and everyone that I really talk to, it's like I don't know, maybe there's some families that don't have any of this, but typically there's some sort of feeling of like you're bracing yourself to feel that defensiveness. Because maybe you've gotten to the point where you no longer want to react from that defensiveness, because that comes like like the petty arguments you have with your siblings, and then you're like, oh my gosh, am I a child still? Like, why am I still like allowing that? Why is that still bothering me? And yeah. Like, wait, where was my train of thought? So anyways, just those certain energy dynamics where someone says a thing and then you fight back, and then it's like this, like it kind of keeps going, and you may even start like avoiding that person because you don't even want to go in this way. Some people have like family agreements, like, okay, we don't talk about that, we don't talk about this, because they like are somewhat aware that it'll still do that even though they both know. I was at a cafe yesterday and I overheard someone say, yeah, I have an agreement with my family that if they talk about me being unemployed, then I'm going to bring up politics, and vice versa. So if I bring up politics, they get to talk about how I'm unemployed or something like that, which I feel like that could be really helpful in those dynamics too, is just to like not even start the dynamic. But a lot of times you don't have the awareness on the other side of the dynamic that they're just you're playing this little game. And so like part of the whole reason I've gone on this journey of self-reflection and like trying to understand myself better is because I don't like, I'll get caught up in those and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, why did I get caught up again? And trying to develop more of a buffer to where I'm just not like, I don't take things as personally. And what I've found is those little energy dynamics, they can kind of like happen whether or not you play into it. Like someone does a thing, it causes this kind of reaction, and you don't really have to be the one that's embodying the other end of the energy, if it makes sense. They can come at you and be like, so I bet you are on this side of things. Well, I'll tell you what I feel about that. And you could allow this to then embody the opposite end of that energy, like to embody the person that would respond and be building up what you'll say in your mind, how you're going to defend yourself, and even picking at what they're saying already, how you already have the perfect thing to say to argue it. But even part of you knows, as your energy boils up and you're ready for this conversational fight, you even know that like you say what you're saying, and then on the other end is not even like a human conversation that's listening to you. It's this energy circle where they are also, while you're speaking, pointing at mentally pointing at all the things you're saying that they can point out, and how they can create the perfect argument, defend themselves, and represent who they are by describing themselves just perfectly and getting you to somehow believe what they believe. But in this situation, like, neither side is ever going to be like, oh yeah, you know, because like that, the oh yeah, maybe that's a valid perspective comes from a totally different type of conversation. So my point, or one of my points, I realized, so I've been, just as like a past people pleaser and doing things in order to avoid other people feeling tension or being disappointed in me. That's been something I've been really working on letting go, so that I can just like be, and not be accidentally tuning into how they think I look while I'm doing it, you know? Not physically look, but if they think I'm right, if I'm doing it right. Like, some part of me cares about certain people's perspective on what I'm doing, and it makes me pause, and it makes me not even go full force into what I feel like I'm supposed to do. And so I had a moment as I've been on this, like, okay, where am I doing that? Because if I bring awareness to it, I can start to like do it a little less, and then just like be me, you know? And I realized yesterday at work, I asked for a break because I sense my energy like going low, and when my energy goes low, I start to lose like this awareness in my external body, like my fingertips and my feet. Like, I start to like get a little ditzy and trip and bump into things, and so I'm like, okay, I need to like reground. And so I asked, which felt good, to like vocalize my needs. Usually I would just kind of wait for them to tell me, and then sometimes it would even get skipped. But so I asked for it, and I took it, and then even as I was eating, I noticed this inner dialogue being like, they think you're taking too long, they think you don't deserve this amount of time, like, they will approve of me they will think more highly of me if I eat quickly, I'm efficient, I get up and I just go back even early, like how. And I noticed that part of me, as I was just trying to relax and eat my food, which you may not relate to this if you don't have like prior people pleasing in you, but but because I was aware of it, because before I would just feel those sensations, like, oh my, wait, I need to go faster, like I can't even enjoy my meal here, I gotta like get back and go. But I invited that awareness because I wanted to see where I'm doing that. And so because I could see it, I got like it was like such a sliver. I wanted so much more, but I got like a sliver of relief in the like little bit of self-awareness that I could see of, oh, actually how they see me doesn't matter. Like, what if they see me as like, wow, why does she need such a long lunch? She's only working this many hours. Like, that can exist, that response to me can exist, and I can also like not take that on. They could even say that to me when I get back, and which is kind of what I was like already prepared for, was like, okay, actually I can enjoy my meal and I can go back, I can receive some sort of sly comment as to like, oh wow, needed a long break, huh? And just be like that's what I mean by it being such a slight moment of awareness, because it was like, I want more of this, so I have more confidence in that space of when someone kind of gives you a jab or a little criticism, you just take nothing on. But I got like a little dose of it, and it allowed it to be that I did get like somewhat of a response, and it just like flew right past me, and I was like, oh, that, like, I don't have to internalize that. I don't have to let that affect me. I don't regret how long my lunch took. I feel valid in how long it took me to eat and then allow my body to settle down. Like, I listened to my body, and they had a problem with it. Like, so what? So that was a really freeing moment. And I'm looking at my notes, not scrolling. Yeah. So I just kind of realized this morning, like, what is it that I want to be seen as by others? Because whatever answer that is, how you want to be seen by others is something that's holding you back, because it's making you reconsider how you're doing things. And just that reconsidering of how you're doing things is doubting yourself, as opposed to just kind of trusting your instincts. And I realized, which I'm so excited to go home now without this, because I realized at a really deep level, like I said earlier, some part of me wants to be seen as doing it right. And like just doing my life right, you know, to where having that mindset of wanting to be seen as doing things right sets me up for, if someone makes any comment about questioning what I'm doing, or saying something judgmental about something I am doing, like any comment that's negative about my path is gonna make me look at it and doubt myself, because setting myself up to be like, I want to be seen as right, it's like, oh wait, every time someone says something that implies I'm not doing it right, I'm gonna be like, wait a second, or feel like I need to defend myself or argue it in order to justify why I'm on the path that I'm on. But if I can just release the part of me that wants to be seen as doing it right, and can just trust that I'm doing me the best I can and all that, then I'll be so much freer when I go home. Because anytime someone says, like, you know, oh, meditation is witchcraft, or you're still like, why aren't you in a relationship, why don't you have kids, or like that kind of stuff, not why don't you, but you know, just like little comments of like, oh, I'm so happy I had kids young because I learned this and this and about myself. Like, family can be sly. And those types of comments, if I have the mindset of I want to be seen like I'm doing things right, every time someone says something like that, I'd be like, wait, am I doing things right? But if I can drop the desire at all to be seen as doing things right, then there are so many little comments that are not even going to faze me. And I hope something similar for you going home this Christmas, or however you maybe see some family, if you do, that you have more of a buffer this year than you have had in the past. And if people watch this and want to comment those things, I would love to read them, because that's like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. But happy holidays for me and Stitch.